Swedish siren Ann-Margret became one of Hollywood's sexiest stars and one of Las Vegas's most popular singing acts.
Ann-Margret started off as this silver screen vixen, but later on in her career, she went on to win 5 Golden Globes. She's been up for 2 Oscars. She's won an Emmy. She's a very respected actress, and a lot of actresses who start off like her haven't been able to make that transition.
Ann-Margret was a great, great singer and dancer, a fabulous sex kitten, a huge, smouldering, red-headed personality.
Born Ann-Margret Olsson in Sweden on April 28, 1941, Ann-Margret came to the U.S. with her parents after World War II. A natural singer and dancer, Ann-Margret formed a band during her 1 year in college, and then moved to the West Coast to try to play professionally at nightclubs.
In 1959, Ann-Margret got her big break. She got a gig with George Burns in Las Vegas, and surprisingly, the critics went nuts about Ann-Margret.
After her Vegas debut, Ann-Margret received an RCA Records contract and a 7-year film deal from 20th Century Fox. In 1961, she was on the cover of Life magazine, who declared her Hollywood's next starlet.
Ann-Margret's career in Hollywood took off in 1961 when she was cast as Betty Davis' daughter in Pocketful of Miracles. But the movie that really puts her on the map is Bye Bye Birdie. That scene where she changes clothes in the bedroom, people were going bananas over that scene.
In 1964, Ann-Margret starred opposite Elvis Presley in Viva Las Vegas, and she literally stole the spotlight from him, which is nothing short of a miracle given that it was Elvis Presley.
When the two of them are on screen, shimmying against each other, they are looking at each other like they cannot wait for the shoot to be over so they can go back to their trailer alone. The chemistry just leaps off the screen.
In addition to her acting, Ann-Margret was a very successful singer and produced several albums and hit songs.
In July of 1967, Ann-Margret appeared in Las Vegas in a casino show for the first time, and from that point on, pretty steadily went back to Las Vegas to do shows.
Ann-Margret became known as the Queen of Vegas because she did so many performances there.
What set Ann-Margret apart as an entertainer is she was a little bit raw. You know, her voice wasn't perfect, and she certainly wasn't this America's sweetheart good girl. She had a little bit of danger to her that even someone like Marilyn Monroe, who sort of seemed like she kind of stumbled into being sexy, oh, I didn't realize I was sexy. Ann-Margret realized it. She knew it, and she worked it.
In 1970, Ann-Margret married actor Roger Smith, who soon became her personal manager. Under his guidance, Ann-Margret began proving herself as a dramatic actor.
In 1971, Ann-Margret starred opposite Jack Nicholson in Carnal Knowledge, and that's the movie that really made audiences and critics alike realize that she had more acting chops than just being the sex kitten.
Ann-Margret is shown to have really a lot of grit. For example, in 1972, she was doing a performance in Lake Tahoe and fell off a stage 22 feet. And it literally almost killed her. And yet, within a year after very, very serious injuries, she was back acting in front of the cameras for The Train Robbers with John Wayne.
In the 1980s and 90s, we saw Ann-Margret really focus on made-for-TV movies and miniseries, and really she kind of abandoned her career to the point that I think audiences forgot that she had a singing career.
Ann-Margret was on par with someone like Mary Tyler Moore, Meredith Baxter. She was doing so much television work. She was a perpetual guest on so many TV series.
Ann-Margret still continued working on the big screen and had 2 big hits with the 1993 Grumpy Old Men and its sequel, Grumpier Old Men, in 1995. Today, Ann-Margret is a very respected actor who continues to appear in a wide variety of projects.
Ann-Margret may be one of the only artists that I can think of that has received accolades from the Grammys, the Emmys, the Globes, and the Academy Awards. She has succeeded in every aspect of media.